Hey, I'm Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on NewsTalk, 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO here in Lubbock, Texas. If you are not listening in Lubbock, you can listen online at KFYO.com. Well, it is summertime here in Lubbock. We know all about that as it's, been or near 100 degrees for the last few days, and it could get up to 105 degrees later on this week. The rest of the country also, or much of the country, feeling a little bit of the summer heat as well, which means we all get a lecture about how evil air conditioning is. This time it's the Boston Globe with the first article of the year about that evil air conditioner that we all have. Picking up on the Globe article here, since the technology, talking about air conditioning, was invented in 1902, the first window unit brought to market in 1939, air conditioners have become ubiquitous in the United States. Today, almost 90% of American households have one, you evil, evil climate herders out there. As do the vast majority of restaurants, stores, museums, office buildings. During the week, like we've just had, these places are sanctuaries. To walk into one after being outside is to be reminded how sweet life can be. Now, the Boston Globe gets a little dark. But all that magic chilling comes at a cost. Something most people are aware of on a personal level because their electricity bills are so high during the summer, but not much on a global scale, which is really where the problem lies. In China and India, air conditioning sales have reportedly been growing by 20% over the last year. Around the world, air conditioning energy demand is projected to increase vastly over the next decade. According to Stan Cox, author of the 2010 book, Losing Our Cool, air conditioning in the United States already has a global warming impact equivalent to every U.S. household driving an extra 10,000 miles per year. Oh no, what were we going to do? But although there are a handful of anti-AC crusaders out there, much like, I guess, the Boston Globe, the idea that we need to be using less of it hasn't become a touchstone of the environmental enlightenment like recycling or hybrid cars. So in other words, in order to be enlightened, you have to be anti-air conditioning. This may be, an indication of how deeply it has shaped our world, unlike driving a car. While we can imagine giving up plastic bags and styrofoam, living without climate control seems unfathomable, especially during a heat wave. Until recently, however, civilization was humming along just fine without this costly convenience. Also helps keep some people alive during the summer. Going back might not be as impossible as we think, according to the Boston Globe. The human body is quite well suited to deal with heat if we let it, and if we just back away a little bit from our assumptions about what it means to be comfortable, it's easy to picture an alternative reality in which instead of flipping on the Freon at the slightest provocation, we learn to cope with it and cope with the air that we have. The human body is surprisingly adaptable by weaving together techniques from the past, ideas from hot weather countries, and findings from building design experts of what people may actually find comfortable. We can see a surprising portrait emerge of what life might look like if we as a society decided we can no longer afford our addiction. The article goes on to talk about how great life will be without air conditioning here in the United States. It's funny, whenever you think about the future, you think about conveniences, you think about things that will make your life better, things that will make your life a little bit easier, things that will make you feel better. One of those might be air conditioning and other countries having air conditioning and people feeling comfortable wherever they may be. But no, the Boston Globe and the climate crusaders who are out there, much like I'm sure the Texas Tech professor, Dr. Catherine Hayhoe over at the university, would probably love a world without air conditioning, so that way we can just adapt to it and move on. Because, all the polar bears are going to be dead here in the next 10 years or so, which, that was already predicted, and it didn't happen. The climate crusaders, they're out. They want to tell you to give up your cars, give up your air conditioning, and really give up eating meat. All the conveniences of the modern world. in order to save the planet from something that is not exactly 100% proven, and it's not exactly proven how much we can even control what is going on with our climate. Of course, if you say that in public, you'll be ridiculed, you'll be laughed at, and you'll be told, hey, now it's time to get rid of your air conditioning. And I guarantee you in the next few years, you will hear more and more of the climate crusaders say that we need to give up our AC. And those who switch to the Priuses and to the electric cars, they're really going to have to dig deep on this one. Are they really prepared to do away with how they feel? Are they really prepared to do away with the modern convenience of air conditioning? You know, something else we could also point to, I guess, with climate change is everything that's modern around us. Why don't we get rid of electricity? You know, humans did live in caves at one point, so maybe we should go back to that. Imagine a world with no electricity at all. You don't have to have any electric power at all. You could just use fire to warm you at night if you really wanted to. You could use fire in order to cook a nice meal. And, of course, we could just eat what nature has provided for us, I guess, if we really wanted to. Dig deep, climate crusaders. That's the only way you're going to get a lot of other people on board. As for me, I'll crank down the AC a little bit extra tonight, just for you. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show, weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time, NewsTalk 95.1 FM, 790 a.m. KFYO. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. Keep cool out there. It's going to be a hot one.